Hello, Year 11. Here's Mr. Bell with explanations for what you need to do for preparing for your Jekyll and Hyde and Macbeth assessments after Christmas. So, this is a revision plan for you to help you with this after Christmas. Now, your plan after Christmas is that you'll come back and you'll do a Jekyll and Hyde assessment, your second go at doing a Jekyll and Hyde assessment. And this assessment will be on a fairly straightforward extract from the novel, one that you'll have read quite thoroughly and will know really well. And I know that the question we're setting for you is not a really super challenging one either. Following that, we'll have a lesson of preparation for Macbeth. Then you'll do a Macbeth assessment. Again, it's a fairly obvious moment from Macbeth. It's not a really obscure one at all. So it's one you'll know pretty well. And the question is a pretty straightforward one as well. Those who have been coming to Rise and Revise are in a really good position for this with Macbeth. Okay, what you're going to need for today, you're going to need your Jekyll and Hyde workbook, the one that you've been working on in class, that big one there. You're going to need your Macbeth knowledge organizer, which is given to you by your teacher. You need a Macbeth exam extract, which also should be supplied by your teacher. And you could do with your copy of each text and any practice exam questions that you might have. You can get loads of those online. So we're going to firstly talk you through where you can get even more information to make yourselves even more of an expert. Now, if you were to click this link, you would go to AudioPie and you can sign in with the email address and our password, lowercase Whitley. And AudioPie is absolutely superb for things that are out there. So if we just take a moment to look at this, here is the Jekyll and Hyde section, the Jekyll and Hyde section. So I could start with the context of Jekyll and Hyde, and I could make myself into an expert on that. Dramatic opening. Effectively, what we've got there is a podcast style thing. So you have mini lectures on all sorts of things from Jekyll and Hyde. You've got one on each chapter. So if you missed a chapter, make yourself an expert. There's key quotations you can look at as well. You can also go to Masalit. Masalit is brilliant for students who are aiming for the highest possible grades. It has really clever interpretations of all of the, I've got the poems on there, but it really should be Macbeth and Jekyll and Hyde for that. Now, what do you do with your knowledge? So you've got your booklet for Jekyll and Hyde. You've got all your knowledge from Macbeth and Rise and Revise. You've got your texts. Well, you can do things such as this. You can make yourself a concept map. A map for all of your ideas. Here's one for Ozymandias and poetry, but you'll be focusing on it for Macbeth and Jekyll and Hyde. It could be about a character from the play, a novel. It could be about the novel itself. It could be about themes. So you could pick a particular theme. You could pick a theme of guilt from Macbeth or terror from Jekyll and Hyde, for example. Any of those themes, duality, repression, etc., any of them, and make yourself a concept map. You could, to make your concept map, use things from your Jekyll and Hyde workbook. Here is the knowledge organizer, which is on page 40 and 41 of your Jekyll and Hyde workbook. This gives you all the knowledge you need. It's a summary of every chapter. It's got some key quotations, some vocabulary, some historical context, and you could use those for making a concept map. You could make flashcards as well. Now, the thing with flashcards is on one side, you should have the question. On the other side, you should have answers to that question. And you can quiz yourself really actively. You could make them for quotations, character words, methods, themes, contextual knowledge. You could use things, let's look at quotations. You could use your Jekyll and Hyde workbook, for example, and you would find you can find at the end of each chapter loads of key quotations. So we have designed this workbook to be useful for you. This is from page 5 of your workbook. And it's loads of quotations from chapter 1. Each section of your chapter tracker is divided into chapters, and each chapter comes with your key quotations to learn. So you could put those on flashcards. You can get the text and annotate the text as well. So you might want to have an actual exam extract like this one, for example, from chapter 8, The Last Night, and you could annotate this really thoroughly and effectively. You can use highlighters, you can color code for things like language, themes, etc. So you can do that for this. You can use an extract like this. It says for other poems there because this transfers these skills work for poetry as well. And you'll be getting effectively this again for when we prepare for poetry work later in the year. So this is an exam question. You could annotate this, and you could also even write this question if you wanted. You can do something other things as well. You can make really useful notes creatively. So you could make a big web of connections. You can make something visual. You can make a video, make a podcast, make a PowerPoint. My daughter loves making Harry Potter PowerPoints at the moment. You could do anything you want, whatever it is that interests you, and that you're going to get. That's going to show your knowledge and understanding as actively as you possibly can. You may want to focus on comparisons of characters, for example. The Jekyll and Hyde is not a comparative assessment, neither is Macbeth, but you do need to consider how things happen in the extract as well as the whole play or the whole novella. So you could look at comparisons of there. For example, if you took a theme such as ambition in Macbeth and you found an extract for that, well, you could look at how ambition is shown in the extract and compare it with how it's shown in the rest of the novella. I think it's useful to do this for Macbeth and Jekyll and Hyde and look and really explore some of the similarities and differences. Not that you're assessed on that, but it shows a depth of understanding. So you've also got these. You've got quotation tasks to fill in your workbook. This is page 37 of your workbook, Jekyll and Hyde quotation quiz, sheet A. See how many of these quotes you'd be able to complete, and see if you can work out some of these images and what they could symbolize. So we got images to do with time, with animals, with fear, with mental distress, for example. There's all sorts of good thematic images you could use here with evil and devils and demons and stuff like that, and hell. So filling in the blanks with these quotes, but also thinking about what ideas do these link to, using the images to help you. You can go back over your workbook and complete any missing bits from the chapter trackers to make sure you really know what's going on at each moment of the novel to make yourself a real expert. For Macbeth, so we're going to switch now from Jekyll and Hyde to Macbeth, exactly the same things apply. You can make flashcards, you can make mind maps and concept maps. But there's also this knowledge organizer for you to fill in. We've started it off, and you should finish it. Now, each act, each plot point, so Act 1, that's only the first half of Act 1. You finish the rest. Find out what the rest of what happens in Act 1, in Act 2, in Act 3, in Act 4, in Act 5. Give a summary of all the characters at the top there. In the middle of the themes, write about the themes. On the right there, write about the context, the great chain of being, the divine right of kings, Shakespearean tragedy, making yourself into an expert. There's this to fill in as well, which this students had something similar to this from the first Rise and Revise session on Macbeth. We had 198 of you there at that session. So that is over half of you were at that session, and we covered all sorts of interesting things about that, about these things in that session. So 5 words to describe the character. What's Shakespeare using the character to say? And 4 must-know quotations for Macbeth. And we've got those tasks on the sheet that you've been given for you to work on these. You may also want to take on a Macbeth exam question as well and do what we said before about really annotating your text, planning your answer, making connections between this extract here, where Lady Macbeth is a powerful woman, and the rest of the play. Finally, we've got these really lovely images which from the internet here, which give you good words to describe Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, Banquo, King Duncan, and the witches. So let's summarise. When you come back, we've got a Jekyll and Hyde assessment. Then you've got 1 lesson, then a Macbeth assessment. So you need to make yourselves into the experts that you want to be in preparation for these assessments. You've had feedback on your Jekyll and Hyde assessment. You've done it really, really hard this year. And it's a chance for you to showcase how brilliant you can be. We've given you loads and loads of stuff. We've taken you to the water. You now need to drink it thirstily and produce magnificent work. Okay, have a lovely Christmas, everyone, and work hard as well. See you later. Lots of Mr. Bells there.